welcome to today's Be the CEO of Your Life live show. I'm Yvonne Dam of Amaze Yourself International Coaching, and I help driven CEOs to get more focus, free up time so they can make more money with a higher quality of life. One of the things I keep seeing around me is that people keep chasing the next and the next and the next instead of focusing what they should do to make their business a bigger success. A lot of people suffer from the shiny object syndrome. And that's why this show is here, to show you the experts that tell you what you need to do from their point of view. And I'm very, very excited because today is with me Adrian Miller. Adrian, hello.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here.
Me too. I'm very excited. Please introduce yourself to the people that are watching because people need to get to know you.
Uh, Adrian Miller, multipreneur, particularly for today's show. My focus is on sales and business consulting and training, and pretty much all things having to do with business development and sales and driving revenue.
I love that. I love that. So, why do you do what you do? I know you're extremely good at it, but why did you start this?
I wish I had something really profound to say. I started doing what I do because I was good at it. And seriously, I was good at it. And I had stopped working at the job I was at. And then it was, what am I going to do? What do I like to do? I knew I wanted to work for myself. And so I said, well, I'm real good at sales and business development. So big gong ringing, you should be a sales trainer and help people with sales strategy and training. And honestly, it was, I don't ever tell people to do it my way, but I just sat down with the telephone, started calling everyone that I knew, started calling people I didn't know. And in a short amount of time, I got some business and that just kept rolling forward. Also, you should know, I started my company not thinking I was really starting a company. I thought I was having a little stopgap, before I went back for a job. And and then I said, wow, this is cool. And I'm doing well and I'm making money. This, maybe I'll just keep going on and on. And here I am.
I love that. And actually, you say because I was good at it, but it surprises me how many people do things for very difficult reason why I think you should be doing what you love. And when you love it, you're often also amazing at it. So I think it's a great thing to realize I'm just good at what I do. And doesn't it also boost the confidence that you so often need in sales to just say, I'm good at what I do?
100%. I give a lot of props to people who start a business on something that they're not very good at, and then their intention is to get good at it. Okay, it seems convoluted to me, but okay. And if you can make that work, then more power to you. But let's see, what am I not good at all? Accounting. Okay, anything to do with finance. So it would be kind of bizarre. Now, of course, you need certification and all sorts of things to become an accountant, but anything to do with finance. So for me to open a business and say, let me help you with your cash flow or something like that, that would just be kind of comical. And I don't enjoy doing it. So you should do something you enjoy doing. And often, if you enjoy doing it, as you said, you're good at it. You're good at it. And that's the way it was for me. And again, here I am.
Yeah, I like that. So if some people are watching, and they go like, okay, so tell me, what's the secret to success and more sales? What would you say?
I'd say if I had that one pithy line, secret to success and more sales, I would have said it already, and I'd be on a beach in Bali and with a big glass of wine, and then later on in the day, some other sexy cocktail or something like that. There's so many things that go into being really good at sales. um, putting yourself into the position of the client, seeing yourself as really a solutions provider and a guide, a navigator, if you will, to help people arrive at a solution that can ultimately help them be more successful. Being tenacious, having a degree of stamina, having a thick skin, having the confidence to get out there and keep swinging, and if it didn't work, go back out again and swing some more. Being strategic about your own business, and by this I mean, and I'm starting to preach this more because I see how a lot of small businesses and solopreneurs miss this memo. They're constantly, and you said it, you're constantly running after the next shiny thing, and you're always running. You're always running, bringing the next client, bringing the next client, bringing the next client. What you really should do is slam the door on that and take a few moments to think about, how can I grow retainer ongoing business? One-offs are exhausting. One-offs, you can never really build a business to scale if you're doing one-offs, unless your one-offs are 6 and 7 figures, then great. But if you're charging, oh, I charge like $250 for my work. Okay, an hour. Oh my God, you need a whole lot of hours, and you're constantly running after these hours. Better to offer a discount and get someone to sign on with you for the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. At least get a baseline of ongoing recurring revenue. And then everything you get as a one-off, it's okay because it's on top of that, but at least have some cash flow that you're 100% confident of versus feeling nervous at the end of every month.
Yes, I hear you. So if people are listening and they're looking for a retainer client, any tips on that?
Well, my model is, before someone, it's like getting married before you date. It's my idea of that you have to have a first date before you can get married, and they have to have a trust and respect and seeing the value in what you provide before they say, yes, I want to marry you for the next whatever it may be. So I always present our initial project, and then here is how we would roll it out. But I have it in the same action plan, which, by the way, my action plan is always just of, it's just the written document on what I just told you. Because if you
Yeah.
have problems, I want you to have problems in my face. I don't want you to
Yeah.
have problems reading something and then deleting it and making a note to never speak to me again. So I think it's important to, if you're going to, why should they go on with you? What value are they going to get? What's in it for them? That's the
Yes.
mindset, right? What's in it for
Yes.
them? It's
Yeah.
not just for you to make more money.
No.
Would be nice, but it's not for you, just for you to make more money. It's what you're going to do, and why they should very much recognize that this would be a better way to go. And by the way, there would be you can give a discount because you have predictable income. See, I don't
Mm.
believe in discounting for discounting. Say, oh, and I can knock 10% off your rate. Why? Why are you giving me 10%? If you don't have a reason, that probably means you are overcharging me.
Yes.
And so the reason I can take 10% off or 20% off, whatever the number is because I have predictable income.
Yeah.
And that helps me. And because I can help, if it's helping me, I'd like to give that back to you.
Yeah.
It's actually the truth. Okay, you have to, if you're going to start talking about lowering your prices, offering a discount, or you have the most competitive prices in town, well, they have to know why,
Yeah.
because otherwise they're skeptical about, and very much thinking that what you're saying is complete BS. So
I think transparency goes a very, very long way. And often what I see with my clients, they go like, oh, this is difficult. And it's actually not. And your potential buyers also feel it when you go a bit like, don't want to say it, but like you said, you have a very good story and it's all about the value you bring. That's what the people want to buy. And that's why they want to continue working with you. And it's almost like an added bonus. Oh, and if we work for a longer period of time, because I have that secured income, I can actually lower some of the price. People will welcome that for sure. Yeah.
As long as they see that what you're providing is part of a process. Sales, training, and strategy, particularly training, is not a one-off event. The only time it's a one-off event is if you're running a big sales conference and somebody, me or somebody like me, comes in, jumps up and down, real enthusiastic, rah rah rah, and then we go home. But really, it's an ongoing process, and it's refreshed. And I use this analogy very frequently, that like an athlete, actually like a musician, like a dancer, but athletes more than anyone, I think, practice harder and longer and every single day. And it doesn't matter if you just won the Stanley Cup or you won a Wimbledon or whatever your sport is. You get back on the court, on the ice, whatever it may be, that next day. You have a trainer, you have a coach, and you work harder at your sport than probably anyone else. It's not like natural athletes just became natural athletes because they were.
They weren't born that way. No.
And so when you point out people and you just look at their work ethic, okay, and they're at the top of their game. So the same thing, you just because you're doing good here, right now, doesn't mean that you won that piece of business. Doesn't mean that you don't have to keep refining your craft and refreshing your techniques and all that stuff. The other thing is I get from sales managers a lot, and even from the people who I don't work that much one-to-one, but sometimes I do. And people say, oh, I don't need the basics because I'm a seasoned whatever. And I go, if you look at people who are in the highest echelon of what they do, if you're a musician, you practice scales.
Yeah.
If you're an ice hockey player, you practice puck shooting and power skating the same way young children do when they're learning skating. When my sons played ice hockey, and they played at a very high level, and they played in a rink where the professional team, New York professional team, came in for their practice right after, and we hung around and watched them. Honestly, the professional team did much of what we did, the kids did on the ice. They just did it better. They did it faster with more skill, but it was the same thing. So yeah, you do need the fundamentals. Don't BS yourself. And usually the people who say they don't need the fundamentals need them more because they're skipping certain things, and that's why they're not getting the results.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And it ties into that question that someone who's watching is asking us. Someone says they have 13 years in sales experience. Do we think it's necessary that they get a sales certification?
No. It depends on the company you're working for if they're asking for that, but no. Sales is so quantifiable. It's qualitative and quantitative. I've worked with clients and I've worked with them hiring people whose only the only thing that was important on their resume was their results. And they were able to point to revenue brought in, business generated, et cetera, et cetera. We frankly, as long as they were coherent and articulate enough to do a presentation, and even in some cases where their emails, pardon the expression, sucked because somebody could rewrite them, we didn't care about anything else. Sales is such a bottom line driven and oriented activity. But the truth is, some of the best marketers in the world don't have a degree in marketing. And, we can point to the people who dropped out of college, right, and never got a degree at all and lead, Fortune 10 companies and that kind of, or people who were leaving Fortune 10 companies and didn't go to the top Ivy schools. They went to kind of mediocre schools.
Yeah.
So many other things factor into that, in my opinion, anyway.
Okay, great. Okay, so that was helpful because he's trying or she is trying to transition into tech sales. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so if you had to give one tip on either to make sales easier or to save us all a lot of time.
Okay. I was thinking about this question before, and I like to come up with initials that like make me remember. So
Yeah.
mine came out to be DAT: delegate, automate, and time block.
Ooh, I
Okay.
like
The
that.
first is just delegate. And when I mean delegate, it doesn't mean you have to have like a staff. Here I am in my home office. I don't have this team sitting in the corner over there.
Very good.
Delegate. You might delegate to a virtual assistant. You might across the world, if you want. You might delegate to somebody at Fiverr or Upwork. I mean, there's so many choices now. You're not tied into a 5-day a week full-time person. You have to pay benefits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you can't freaking do everything. And even if you thought you had the time to, which you don't, you're really not good at everything. Like, you don't want me to do my taxes. You actually don't want me to design complicated brochures or anything like that. So delegate. Automate as much as you can. And I know there are wonderful people who can automate every single function. That's not me. But make sure certain things are automated and make it easier for you. Use some semblance of a CRM to control your outreach, your sales initiatives and stuff like that. And there are free ones and ones that are very simple for the most non-techie person. And when I say time block, that is as you know, it's a particular method of time management, et cetera, et cetera. That may work for you. Excellent. If it doesn't, come up with your own, but
Yes.
don't BS yourself. What's your best strategy to get things accomplished? Do you have to sit down, put blinders on for an hour, and then you got to get up and take 10 minutes because your body will hate you for doing that? Are you don't if you try to do the hardest thing in your day in the morning and you're not a morning person, you probably will fail and hate yourself also. Know yourself. Be confident enough that you have it within you to come up with how you best work. If you really can't, if you're flubbering around and just lying to yourself, and you need Yvonne's guidance to help you get the most out of your time. But that is our currency. Time is our currency.
Yes.
You decide how you're going to spend it. Okay. So, again, it's delegate because you can't be all things to all people. Automate because automation's here to stay. You're kind of a Luddite if you haven't figured out some of the things. And time management. Maybe it's not time block, but time management, because it's a currency. We all get 24 hours. How much of that do you screw up and waste? Or how much, people say, how do you do all the things you do, Adrian? Because I'm real productive.
Yeah.
I use my time well. And I don't have any amazing secrets. I'm just like everybody else sitting in their little home office. I just figured out what works for me.
Yeah.
It may not work for you, but it works for me.
And that's what it's all about. I love that. So that gives me a very nice bridge to ask you the question: how do you feel that you are the CEO of your life?
So I'm a huge believer in life work integration. Okay. I really am. And so I'm as hard of a task driver at work as I am at my personal life. Okay. I'm as rigorous as attending to both facets of my life. I will never let my personal life slip away because, oh my God, I have to do this for work. Blah, blah, blah. No, I will figure out how to do it. We only get to be here once. Okay. We get one go around. We don't even know when that go around's going to end. All right. So
Yeah.
you have to figure out how to have maximum satisfaction and maximum um, uh, positivity out of both aspects of your life, and don't give up one for another. Now, you may have, this big deadline and you need to finish it, and yeah, for 1 day or 2 days. But I mean, the people who have trouble doing this, it's not just a 1 or 2 day thing. They have trouble doing this all the time. The people complain, I never see my kids, I never go on vacation, I don't go out to dinner with friends, I don't have any hobbies, I don't remember the last time I read a book. Oh my gosh. So either that stuff is totally unimportant to you, which is another issue, or you need to work with Yvonne, because
Yeah.
those things are they're as important as having your cash flow in place and having your CRM and doing your outreach and networking and executing your work successfully. You can't forget about that other stuff. You just can't. I
Yeah.
mean, it's that's a very sad picture to me. Either
And then,
one. And then there's the other one where you're doing all that other stuff to the max. That's awesome. But you feel a little bit unfulfilled, but there's part of your brain that isn't being used on that part of your life. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying you're not fulfilled by it. I've done all those things, the mommy, all that stuff. There's a little part of you saying, "Oh, there's something more. There's something that's a different feeling when these." Let's face it, it's something that comes from getting paid for what you do, and that feels good.
yeah.
Somebody respects and trusts and values what you do enough to pay you. That's the biggest rush for me at all of all.
I love that. I love that. Adrian, when people want to reach out to you, they can best do by sending you an email. Where would you like to contact you? Or on LinkedIn?
Um, that email address is great, and I
Yeah.
do answer my emails. LinkedIn is great. I don't even know what my LinkedIn profile thing is. LinkedIn is good too. Let's certainly connect on LinkedIn,
Yes.
and I
Yeah.
answer my messages on LinkedIn too. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Um, and I'm pretty timely. So if I don't answer, there's possibly something went astray, or I'm out of the country, or the internet died, or something like that. But yeah, I like to connect and I like to talk to people and find out about them and seeing how I can help them because I'm a natural connector.
You are. Yes, for sure. I love
Yeah.
that. So, final question: is there anything that you think we still need to touch upon? That questions you still want answered for our closing statement?
Yeah, the only thing, because I just was asked this yesterday, and someone said to me, "Of course you're good at sales. You're so extroverted, and there isn't a person you won't walk over to and shake their hand, etc. But I'm not like you. I'm very introverted. I'm quiet. There's no chance I can do this." And I said, "Absolutely not true. You can be fabulously successful at sales, regardless if you're introverted or extroverted. A great book to read is Quiet, The Power of Being an Introvert. Fabulous book. Susan Cain, I believe. Fabulous. But don't don't feed yourself negativity. I can't do this because. Look, I've been doing sales for a really long time. I could have said I can't be successful because I'm a woman. Because when I started, I'm a second class citizen was being very polite. Okay. So I was really supposed to be a full time mommy, and everything else I did for money was really not a career, it was a hobby. So I'm going to say you can make it your own as long as you really want to and you have the desire.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and looking forward to seeing you again, same time, same place next week. Bye for now.